Hello everyone, DemonBattler here, coach of the Vegas Golden Sirnights, and we are going into week 4 of the Advanced Pokemon Enterprise's 3rd season. So, as you can see, thanks to that victory from last week, we are now 1-2 with an even 0 differential, so pretty happy to see that. Now, before we go into discussion of our opponent for this week, we do have some trades that we have to discuss. So we have a total of 2 drops and 2 pickups, and then we're going to discuss them one at a time. For the first drop, we've decided, or more accurately, I guess this Pokemon decided, that they don't really want to stick around, and they've kind of wanted to go home. They're feeling a bit homesick, they want to return to Area 0, see their family. So, we're going to have to say goodbye to Iron Leaves. They've only been with us for 1 game, and they had a 1-1 record out of that game. But you know what? They did a good job on their own, they had fun, and honestly, we're not going to hold any hard feelings against them for wanting to leave. They can enjoy their time with their family, and they get to say they got to compete in a competition. So you know what? We'll take that. However, this does mean that we opened up the door for 11 of our points, so we got to pick a new Pokemon to fill in that roster slot, and after a little bit of discussion with Iron Leaves, he decided to suggest a friend of his that is also from Area 0, and was happily willing to join the cause. So everyone, say hello to our fellow 11-point Pokemon, Iron Jugulus. They've decided they want to tag along, and honestly, I feel like they're going to make a very good Pokemon for this. They're going to have a lot of special attack options, they're still relatively fast, and they work out as a good combo to Tapu Koko as well. So, definitely interesting to see how that works out. Now for the other drop. This is one I was not expecting to make, but we kind of had our hand forced, because as it turns out, we had a bit of a troublemaker in our team, and unfortunately, Hitmonchan ended up getting busted for betting on the outcome of our team's battle last week. So, Hitmonchan managed to win a lot of money since we were on the underdog. However, he ended up suspended for this, and after thinking about it, we ended up deciding to terminate his contract. Mainly because of the fact that he has not competed yet, so there's no risk of him messing up anything record-wise for us. And quite frankly, he wasn't really doing a whole lot aside from being a bench warmer anyway. But with that being said, we had 5 points that we could work with to make up for that, and we ended up picking up a 4-point Pokemon instead, so we have a spare point in our roster for later on if we need to make a change. Everyone, welcome one of my favorite Pokemon from Generation 3, Credilli. Credilli is actually going to be a really good Pokemon for us because not only does Credilli handle the grass type spot that Iron Leaves ended up leaving us with, but on top of that, Credilli is a strong defensive Pokemon both as a rock and a grass type. They're very good options that it can work with in terms of setup, in terms of hazards and whatnot. We definitely have a lot we could play with here. And, like I said, we have a spare point as well. So later down the road, if we need to make another change, we can handle that and have a spare point to work with. So now moving on to our opponent for this week. And that is the Carolina Tornadus and their coach, Breaker. And oh my god, this team scares the shit out of me. They are currently 3-0, they are a +9 differential, and they are currently the #1 team in our division. So, needless to say, it's going to be an interesting battle for us. Looking at their team, they have quite a few really powerful Pokemon here. We see Garchomp, which is a good Pokemon with a pretty good speed stat. We have Urshifu, that is the Rapid Strike form, so we're going to have to be a little wary there. Skeledirge is here as usually their main Terra Captain, and honestly, this is going to be a Pokemon that's going to be tough to beat because of how bulky it is. They have Corviknight, which is basically Skarmory 2.0, and a very solid defensive Pokemon. Porygon 2 is a very bulky mon and a very big pain in the ass to deal with, especially with Knockoff not being as prevalent anymore. And then they have Raikou, Weavile, both of whom are really fast Pokemon that hit pretty hard, and honestly, we're going to have to really work about that. And then they have Vileplume, who is, again, a really bulky Pokemon, this time rocking the Grass and Poison type, so can handle things like Toxic Spikes. It can resist, I believe it resists Stealth Rocks. I'll have to double check that. And with different powder moves and Stun Spore and whatnot, we're definitely going to have to pay attention to that. And then they have Vespiquen, who I don't really know how effective that Pokemon would be against us, but still. And then Slurpuff is here, which can also be a very scary Mon, mostly because of the fact that it has access to things like Belly Drum, and the fact that it also is a Terra Captain, so we're definitely going to have to pay attention there. So, looking at the roster, I'm feeling somewhat confident that this is going to be the team that Breaker brings against us. The reason is because Garchomp, Raikou, and Weavile have high speed, so they're able to handle a lot of our team fairly quickly that way. Urshifu is about middle of the road in speed. Skeleturge and Porygon 2 are kind of lower in that regard, but they're also very bulky, which means there is a chance that Trick Room might be a problem to focus on. But overall, these are their hardest hitting Pokemon in my opinion, and with Skeleturge especially being their MVP at the moment, I definitely can expect him coming in and trying to rock the house, essentially. So, with that being said, and with our changes to our team's roster, this is the team I'm bringing to the field. As you can see, Credilli is coming in, and we're going to explain what she's going to do in a little bit. But first, we have Parker, the Araquanid. He is here with Leftovers, typical water bubble ability, and he has Lunge, Liquidation, Sticky Web, and Poison Jab. The reason for this is because Lunge is a guaranteed attack drop if it hits, Liquidation is a strong water type in general, Poison Jab is there mostly to deal with Slurpuff, and basically just deal good damage if possible to anything that ends up resisting the other moves. And Sticky Web is there to help provide a little bit of speed control, because honestly with our team the way it is, we definitely want to make sure we have the speed advantage here outside of Trick Room shenanigans. Now we're into Audrey, the Credilli. Kudos to anyone who manages to catch that reference. Sassy nature with Storm Drain ability to help kind of handle any water attacks that come in. And Credilli's Rock and Curse, Recover, Rock Slide, and Earthquake. Looking at their team, we don't really see a whole lot of use for a grass type attack in general. At least not that anything that another type can handle otherwise. So we're kind of okay going for a bit more of a setup bulky nature here. And honestly, I'm curious to see how Audrey fares. And then we have Ray, our Hawlucha. Typical strats with Sword Stance, Acrobatics, Drain Punch, and Fire Punch. Fire Punch is there specifically to deal with Corviknight. And the Electric Seed means that Unburden is going to kick off pretty quickly. Now, the interesting thing about the stat spread here is that by boosting the speed by 64 points, that's enough to where Hawlucha, with his Unburden boost, can outspeed any Pokemon on Breaker's team that is Choice Scarfed. So, that means that aside from Weavile, which I believe can survive a Drain Punch just barely. Oh, excuse me. Aside from that, honestly, we don't have too much to worry about here. So, if we could get this set up and we get a Sword Stance off at +2, then we could pretty much dominate most of the battle here. And then we're into Coco, our Tapu Koko. Again, pretty general stuff. High HP, most maxed out speed for the sake of getting as fast as possible. And a little bit of special attack as well, with Thunderbolt, Light Screen, Reflect, and U-Turn. Now you're probably questioning why in the hell I have Hasty Nature on here. Well, the reason is actually because of two things. Number one, Garchomp is going to one-shot us with Earthquake even if we get Reflect up, so the fact of the matter is that lower defense nature doesn't make too much of a difference. However, the other key thing is Porygon 2. Every single one of my team here has a slightly higher, if not outright higher, special defense than defense. The reason is because Porygon 2 has access to an ability called Download, which boosts its attack or special attack by, I believe, 2 stages? It's either 2 stages or 1 stage. But either way, it boosts its attack or special attack depending on the Pokemon that it comes out against, whether its defense or special defense is higher. So, with all of our Pokemon having a slightly higher special defense, that means that Porygon 2 will get a attack boost, which is not very useful to it in most cases. So unless Breaker specifically sets Porygon 2 to be a physical attacker in preparation for that kind of strategy, then realistically speaking, Porygon 2's download is going to be a lot less of an important factor here. Now, moving on to Heatran. Honestly, Helios is here to speed up and wreck shop. With Timid Nature, max special attack, max speed, 4 special defense, again, to just edge out physical defense in that regard. Terra-type Fairy, with Flame Charge to boost its speed on a hit, preferably a switch out, and then Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, and Fairy-type Terra Blast to basically tear through most of the opponent's team. So, do I expect Helios to sweep? Not necessarily, but I feel like if we could get at least one speed increase, then Helios could potentially be a strong wall breaker. And finally, rounding things out, we have Lola our Sylveon, holding the leftovers with Pixelate ability, with Baton Pass, Wish, Mystical Fire, and Hyper Voice. Basically, Lola is here specifically to weaken out Pokemon that she can outlive a hit with, max HP, max special attack, 8 special defense. Wish is there to basically switch out into another Pokemon and give them a health boost, preferably something like Heatran or maybe something like Credilli, if we get to that point. And then Mystical Fire is there specifically to deal with a Corviknight that might come in, because otherwise Corviknight walls Sylveon out entirely. And then Hyper Voice could deal with anything that is weak to Fairy type, as well as avoiding any kind of substitute. So, with that being said, everyone, we're going to get into the battle very soon. Let's hope that things work out. Let's give Credilli some hope and moral support here for her first battle. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. Now we're into the battle, and looking at the team that Breaker has brought here, we're actually pretty accurate. I think the only thing we got wrong was Slurpuff. So, definitely glad about that. Now the question is, are we able to actually capitalize on it? So now we need to figure out how we're going to start things off here. And honestly, I'm a little unsure. Let's see. I think I'm a little bit concerned that he might start things off with Garchomp. But if he does, I think Coco is probably our best choice to start. Or, actually, no, I think Parker is probably our best choice to start. So we're going to go ahead and start with Parker. We're going to see if we can get... Oh, Slurpuff to start with, huh? I wonder if that means he wants to go for the belly drum right off the bat. Oh, that's actually scary, though, if that's the case. I think he's going to. I think that's what he's hoping for. So we're going to go ahead, we're just going to Poison Jab right away. Or, well, actually, we're definitely slower. Do we want to... The question is, do we want to lunge? Let's see. At +6, Play Rough is almost guaranteed to kill. At +5, Play Rough has a chance to kill. I think Poison Jab's actually the better play. So let's just do that. Going straight for the belly drum. Alright. Well, with that being the case, and Poison Jab actually doing a lot less than I expected, now we need to figure out how we're going to handle this. I think Liquidation... Okay. Play Rough has a chance to kill, but Liquidation should finish it off. And unfortunately, this is going to be a sweep I'm scared about. But okay. Got Play Rough for sure. So we've got Play Rough. Let's see if Heatran will actually, wow, Heatran does not survive that at all with Play Rough. That is bad. Okay, well, shoot, we're really in trouble now. We're gonna go into Coco. And we're gonna click Reflect. I think we're gonna die. I think Slurpuff has a chance of killing us still, but we have to at least try to go in on the defensive, get something set up. And if we could force a switch, then Slurpuff is basically screwed. Alright, so let's hope for the best. We have to hope here, which is problematic. Oh my god. Oh, wait. We're actually faster? What? Okay, good to know. And we're gonna U-turn right now. Get out of there. And we're switching into Helios. Okay. That's actually good to know. So Coco is faster, so it's 394. That means that Slurpuff is not going to be any faster. Let's actually do some quick math. So 394. Oh, it might not have any investment, actually. If it's adamant, yeah, if it's adamant, that's okay. Okay. Good to know. Play Rough does have a chance of killing, which is a problem. But we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to take a chance here. Flame. We're gonna Terra, and we're going to. And it is ground type, so we have to keep that in mind. We're gonna Terra, and we're gonna Terra Blast. No, we're gonna Flamethrower. Okay, good. We resisted that again, and that is gone. Thank Christ. Granted, we are definitely not in a good position still, but we have hope here. Raikou. I do not know exactly what Raikou's going to try to do, but we're going to Flame Charge. Thunderbolt, ooh. That did a lot, but we should be faster now. And honestly, I say we just go for it. Let's go Flamethrower, heal as much as we can. The burn is not very helpful for us, but that's okay. So 361, and we did outspeed. Well, that actually, so we know that it's not choiced, which is important. So unfortunately, Coco is definitely not going to be all that useful to us here. Man, actually, the problem is Coco is actually really important for us. We're going to U-turn. And as much as I hate to think about it, I think we have to let Audrey go. Well, actually, no, actually Lola's kind of useless to us at this point. Okay, so Raikou is down. Skeledirge is here. Okay. This is going to be the problem. Fire Ghost. We're going to... Well, we're definitely going to be slower. I'm pretty sure. Wow, actually thinking about it, we don't really have a good way to deal with this thing at all, do we? Okay, we're actually gonna go for a Wish. Torch Song does a decent bit. Oh, that's actually horrifying now. We have a chance to still live it, so we're gonna Baton Pass. Because if worst comes to worst, Lola can be death fodder. Skeledirge definitely is faster than us, so good to know there. I'll be honest, this is not going as I had expected to, which is both a bad thing and a good thing. Just starting out with Slurpuff and going ham right from the jump, that definitely was not what I was expecting. Because usually if you just go for a setup sweeper turn 1, you're usually getting your ass handed to you. So I'm actually very surprised that that worked out as well as it did. And now Breaker's probably wondering what I have planned, given the fact that he's probably expecting me to have Protect, honestly. So the question is he going to go for a Torch Song again? Yep. And that's enough to kill it. Okay, that's a problem. Unfortunately, we don't have any way of dealing with this thing, I don't think, so... I guess we just had hit... we just Acrobatics and Pray? Not even close. No wonder this... Well, I'll say this. No wonder that thing has such a high kill count. Well... Yep, this is game, because... Now he doesn't even have to stick in with Skeledirge. All he has to do is switch into Garchomp, and we basically are screwed. Not even close. Slack off too. Are you shitting me? The only hope we have is to go Light Screen and pray that that's enough to protect Audrey, but I doubt it. Alright, we go for Rock Slide and basically pray. Go on. Go on. Go on. But yeah, this is pretty much game right here. Wow, that did nothing. That thing is way too damn bulky. I don't know how the hell he's doing that, how the hell that's a case, but... I think he's gonna slack off again, yep. So we're gonna just curse on that one. Let's see how much damage that'll inflict. And all he needs to do is just outlast the screen, light screen, and we're done for anyway. And we get the special defense drop too, so it doesn't even matter. Well, that's GG. Man. That was rough. Alright, well, we'll get into the post-game shortly. Well, unfortunately that did not pan out as hoped, so we are looking at a 4-0 loss, which sucks. But then again, I guess with 2 setup sweepers, really I shouldn't be too surprised. So, oh well. Moving on to the MVP, it's actually pretty clear it's definitely Heatran. Helios is definitely the MVP for 2 main reasons. Number 1, she's the one that stops Slurpuff from sweeping us, and number 2, she's literally the only Pokemon that actually got any knockouts. Both of which being the knockout on Slurpuff from Flamethrower, and then the burn damage from getting the burn off of Flamethrower onto Raikou. So, yeah, needless to say, there's no other choice here. And going into next week, we are facing off against the Tennessee Torkoals, who is coached by G-Boss. And this battle actually is going to be a bit delayed, I'm going to have to say, because there's actually some personal issues that I'm going to be dealing with soon, and as a result, I'm not actually going to have access to her battle until, I want to say it's the week, yeah, it's going to be about the weekend after this one is supposed to come in, or something like that. So, we're going to get that battle done when we can. I'll make sure to have the video up and out as soon as possible. Depending on how the situation fares, it might end up being a case of a double video release for the week after that, but I'm not too sure, but we'll find out how that goes. So, with that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys next time.